size of the yoga mat will do. So hop on over to your mat and we will get started. I haven't moved around a whole lot today, so I'm wanting to bring the energy up a little bit. So we're going to start standing. So let's come to stand somewhere around the middle of your mat. If it feels good, start to close down the eyes. Just have your arms by your side and take a few deep breaths here. Just start to recognize where the weight might be in your feet. Bring some awareness to whether you're rocking back and forth. Maybe you're standing a little bit more in the right foot than the left. Notice anywhere in the body that might need some extra breath today. Anywhere that feels like you're carrying some extra tension. And we'll focus on sending the breath there throughout this practice. On your next breath in, start to just flutter the eyes open. Let's bring the arms up overhead. Just stretch all the way up. Look towards your hands. Come up on your tippy toes. And then on the exhale, fold all the way forward. Keep a really big bend at the knee. Grab onto opposite elbows and just start to sway a little bit back and forth. Release the hands down. On your next inhale, bring the hands to the shins. Make a flat spine, just come up halfway. And on the exhale, fold forward again. On the inhale, bring the arms up overhead, come to stand, stretch. And let's do this again. Exhale, fold forward. Heavy head. On your next breath in, come up halfway. And on the exhale, fold. Still keeping a big bend at the knee. And on your next inhale, come all the way up, reach the hands up overhead, stretch, come up onto the tippy toes. And on the exhale, bring the hands into heart center. Close down the eyes, take a big exhale. Walk a little bit to the back of the mat. We're going to inchworm our way out into a plank to start. So just bring the fingertips down to the mat, still keeping that bend at the knee. Take the hands all the way up in front of you until you're in a plank. Hold this plank here for a breath. Feel the core start to turn on. And then inchworm back until you're at the back of the mat. Fold all the way. Rise up slowly on inhale, vertebrae by vertebrae. Exhale when you get to the top. Start to fold forward again, inchworm your way out to plank. Hold it here for a breath. And then take it all the way back one more time. Folding forward. And this time we won't go back up. On the next breath, we'll just crawl the hands back out until we're in our plank. And hold. Take a couple more breaths here. Really turning on the core. And then on your next exhale, just bring the knees down, untuck the toes, walk the hands back just slightly until you're in your tabletop position. From here, we're going to move through cat-cow, warm up the spine a bit. So on the inhale, bring the tailbone up in the chin, let the eyes follow. Exhale, round out the spine, push it towards the ceiling. 2 more times like this, following your own breath, your own speed. And then we'll come back to a neutral spine. Bring the hands just slightly up in front and the knees together. And we'll start to make big circles with the hips. So this warms up the hips and the wrist. We'll go 3 times in one direction. And then you can switch, start to rotate 3 times in the other. Doing anything with the spine that feels good. Once you feel like you've rolled around enough, In this position, come back into neutral, bring the hands back into our tabletop. We'll tuck the toes under, just push back from the hands, stretch out the feet a bit. Feet don't get enough loving usually. Just stretch them out. And then shift forward again, pick up the feet, roll out the ankles. From here, we're going to take the right heel all the way back behind us, get really solid through the right hand and the left knee, and then start to pick up the left hand. So this is called a bird dog. Hold here a little bit more for the core. On your inhale, we're going to crunch everything in, bring the elbow to the knee. And on the exhale, extend back out long. 2 more times. Inhale, bringing everything in, crunching into a little ball. Exhale, getting nice and long. The next time you're extended out, bring the left hand down, take the right foot to the outside of the right hand. Just rock back and forth here. Getting into that left hip and the right hamstring. Making everything feel nice and flowy and fluid. No pain. The next time you rock forward, just pick up that foot, bring the right knee back beside the left. Moving on to the other side, take that left heel all the way back, followed by the right hand. You want to keep the neck nice and long so you're looking down at your mat, and on your inhale, scrunch it in. On exhale, extend. 2 more times. If you fall out of it, just come right back in. The next time you are extended long, bring the right hand down. Left foot to the outside of the left hand, and rock back and forth on this side. If you feel like you want to be still here, you can choose either one. So you can hold in this forward motion a little bit more for the right hip, or come all the way back, bring the hands back, and stretch out the hamstring. Your body, your practice. Always, always. Next time you rock forward, just pick up that left knee, bring it back beside the right. We're going to tuck the toes under. Just start to lift the hips all the way back behind you, coming into our first downward dog. Pedal out the feet and the calves. Bring as many wiggles and movement as you need into this right now. Maybe rolling out the ankles a little bit more. Trying to get equal pressure in the hands. And then when you feel ready, just find stillness here. Make it feel really restful and take 2 breaths. From here, we're just going to start to bring the feet a little bit closer together. Take the right foot all the way up, back behind you. You can bend the knee, open up the hip to the side. You can make some big circles with the knee here if you want to just try and get a few more cracks out of that right hip. Or you can stay in stillness. Again, try and find equal pressure in the hands. Rock forward on the inhale. Try to bring the knee to the nose. And then send it back in space on the exhale. Inhale, bring it all the way through. Step the right foot between the hands at the top of the mat. Hold here for a breath, and then slowly using the core, bring the hands up overhead into your high lunge or crescent lunge. Take a breath. And then start to pivot on the back foot, coming into warrior 2. Hold here and breathe. Start to send the hips a little bit back behind you. Straighten that front leg as much as feels comfortable. Reach for either the ground or the shin. Come into triangle pose. And then we'll lift up using the core on the next breath. Bring the left hand down the leg, right arm over top, exalted warrior. Start to make your way back into warrior 2. We'll come up onto the back toes, moving back into our crescent lunge. And then from here, just pick up the back foot, bring it about halfway up the mat. So you might need to bounce off of the back leg a little bit. Pick it up, float it up halfway. You want the back toes kind of pointing at a 45-degree angle. Interlace the fingers behind you, open up the chest. And then hinge at the hips just over top of this front leg. Notice where your weight is in your feet. Come back to your breath. Release the fingers, bring them down to the mat. Shift your weight forward into that right foot. Pick up the left foot, bring it all the way back behind you, coming into standing splits. And then if you want, or when you're ready, just start to hover the fingertips up off the mat. And you can bring them out in front or down by your sides and come into Warrior 3. Keeping a little bit of a standing leg, arms out in front of you if you want a bit more of a challenge. One more breath here. And then start to reach with those back toes to the back of the mat. We'll end this side back in our crescent lunge. Start to bring the hands back down, frame the right foot, take the right foot back beside the left, hold plank. And then bring the knees down, lower all the way to the front of the body. Bring the hands just slightly out in front of you, pull through the fingertips. On your next inhale, loop the shoulders up, back, and down, coming into Cobra. And exhale, release. One more time, lift up, pull through the finger pads. And exhale, release, bring it all down. Bring one cheek to the mat or make a pillow with your hands. Just take a breath here. Start to bring the hands underneath the shoulders. Push your way up through your tabletop. We'll meet in downward dog. And we'll move on to the other side. Hold here 2 breaths. Make this feel like a resting pose. And then start to bring the feet a little closer together. Take the left foot all the way up, back behind you. Bend the knee, open the hips. Make those knee circles here if you want. Or just find stillness, equal pressure in the hands. Shift all the way forward, try to bring the knee to the nose, and then take it back in space on the exhale. Shift forward on the inhale, step the left foot between the hands. Come up slowly using the core into crescent lunge on this side. Take a breath here. Pivot the back foot, come into your Warrior 2. Taking a breath in each new pose that we're in, and then start to shift the hips back behind you, straighten this front leg as much as feels good. Reach for the shin or the floor, coming into triangle. And then lift up, use the core through Warrior 2 into Exalted Warrior. Come back into your Warrior 2, gazing just past the fingertips, and then we'll loop both hands back around and up, come up onto the back toes, back into our crescent lunge. And then just float this back foot halfway up the mat, pointing the toes just slightly out to the side. Interlace the fingers behind you, open up the chest. Hinge at the hips, fold over this front leg. You can bring the hands all the way back behind you if that feels good. Let gravity pull on the hands a little bit, open up the collarbones and the chest a little bit more. One more breath here. And then you can start to release that grip. Bring the fingertips down to the mat, shift the weight to the front foot, pick up the back foot, standing splits. If and when you're ready, hover the fingertips up off the mat, make your way into warrior three for your airplane pose. Small bend in the standing leg. Arms wherever you feel most stable. And then reach the right foot back on your next breath, come back into your crescent lunge. If you fall out of any pose, just come back into it. It's part of the practice. Take the hands down, frame the left foot. Take the left foot back beside the right. You can go through the same vinyasa we did last time with the knees down, going through cobra, or chaturanga push-up, coming through upward facing dog, and we'll all meet in our downward facing dog. 2 breaths here. Take your rest. From here, just start to walk the feet to the top of the mat, fold forward. Heavy head, maybe shake it yes and no, just to make sure. And then heel toe the feet to the outer edges of the mat. We'll sit the hips all the way back and down, coming into Malasana, your yogi squat. So your hands can be in heart center, pushing out the knees. Or you can reach your hands all the way forward for a little bit more of a release in the lower back. One more breath here. And then make your way down to seated. Come into a comfortable cross-legged position. From here, we'll tent the left fingertips behind us, bring your right hand to your left knee, twist over to the left, just gently. On your inhales, make the spine nice and long, and on your exhales, that's when you deepen the twist if you feel like you want a little bit more. Use your core here instead of just using your hand on your knee as leverage. And release, come back into center, just fold all the way forward over your crossed legs. And let the head be heavy here as well. Start to bring the fingertips back into center. Tent the right fingertips behind you. Bring the left hand to the right knee, twist towards the right. Same thing as the other side. Keep as straight a spine as possible. Never twisting to the point of pain. Just let your body tell you where it wants to go. And release. Come back into center, fold forward. Come back up. Put yourself up with your fingertips. We're going to leave the right leg in. Take the left foot out to the side. We're going to do a little bit of side body stretching here. So bring the left hand to the inside of the left leg. Inhale the right arm up and over. You can look towards that right hand or the left, whatever feels better on your neck. And then loop that right hand back somewhere to the side or behind you. Come up onto the right knee. The left hand goes up and over. And release. Start to come back down. Walk both of your hands over to the left. Frame that left leg and just bend a little bit towards it as much as feels good in the hamstring. And push your way back up. Let's go over to the other side. So bring the left foot in, take the right foot out to the side. Right hand comes down on the inside of the right leg. Left arm goes up and over. Big side body stretch. And then loop this left hand all the way back and around, come up on the left knee, right arm goes up and over. Start to sit the hips back down. Come back over the right leg, fold forward. And then we'll push up back into center. Bring both legs out in front. Tent both hands behind you. Push the chest out. Gentle back bend. I say this all the time in my classes, I'm going to say it again. Because we're all hunched over computers all day long, it's super important, even if you're not doing a full practice, to just get in some sort of back bend in your day. So this is a good one, just to hold for 30 seconds if you feel like you've been at your desk for hours. Release, come back to a neutral spine. Bring the feet in closer. And we're just going to bring the hands out in front, lean the torso back a little bit. So this is called boat pose. We're going to alternate feet, so making it a little bit easier than your actual V-sit. So keep the right foot down, pick the left foot up, take a breath here, and then just alternate, following your own breath and your own speed again. Pick the foot up on the inhale, and then on the exhale, switch sides. Keep alternating. We're going to do this 5 more times per leg. If you feel like it's too much, just take a break. Work wherever you're at. 2 more. Core's probably feeling a little shaky right now. 1 more each side. Good, okay. Bring the feet down, just lower all the way to your back. Then take a breath here. From here, start to bring the feet in close to the bum until you kind of reach your heels with your fingertips. And on your next breath in, just start to pick up the hips, coming into bridge pose. You can roll the shoulder blades underneath you, clasp the hands. If you want to create some more pressure in the elbows so that there's no pressure at all in the neck. You want your knees to be coming in instead of going out. And just hold here, creating a bit of heat. Strengthening the glutes and the back body. 2 more breaths. And release, start to bring the hips all the way down. Bring the knees into the chest, give yourself a squeeze. And then bring the feet into the hands, come into happy baby, just rock a little bit back and forth on the spine. Give yourself a little bit of a massage. And then we'll bring the knees back into the chest. Pull the left shin all the way in with your hands. Take the right leg out long. Stretching out the right hip and creating a bit of pressure on this left side with the knee. You can make circles with that leg if you want to. Just massage out the left side of the body a bit. And then your choice here, you can either extend the left foot up towards the ceiling, get another hamstring stretch in, or take that left knee over to the right side for 1 more twist. Whatever your body's asking for, take that and take a few breaths. Or if you have your foot in the air and you want a little bit more core, you can pull yourself up with your hands, just bring your shoulders off of the mat. And hold here. Wherever you are, start to come back into center. Bring both knees in. And then grab onto the right shin, take the left leg out long. Hold here and roll the shoulder blades underneath you, or you can start to make those circles with the right leg. So whatever you did on the other side, let's move through that version here. Either foot in the air or knee comes across for your twist. And release, start to bring everything back into center. Give yourself one more squeeze. And then we'll take everything out long on the mat. Coming into Shavasana, our final resting pose. If there's any other poses that your body's asking for, do those now. Otherwise, we'll head into our Shavasana and we're going to do our relaxation exercise or technique before we fully melt down into our mats. So this is called active release or active relaxation. And it's essentially the idea that you don't really know what's holding tension until you really fire everything up and then let it all release. So on your next inhale, we're going to tighten the whole body up and then feel all that extra tension melting out as you release down into your mat. So inhale, start to make your hands into fists, squeeze your quads, your glutes, your biceps, squeeze your whole upper body, your whole lower body, your toes, your face. And then exhale, release, and feel if there's a difference in the tension that's releasing from your body now versus a couple minutes ago. We're going to do this one more time, now that we all know what's happening. So on your next breath in, tighten everything up. Tighten up your fists, tighten up your forearms, tighten up your feet, your calves, your ankles. Squeeze everything in. And exhale, release, let it all go. Close down the eyes. Bring focus to your breath again, let it deepen. Just send some extra breath wherever that tension is being released. Your next breath, start to bring the hands up to the belly. Take a deep breath in, try to direct your breath there. And then bring yourself fully back into the room, roll over to one side. And we'll come up to seated. Take one more breath here together. Inhale, and exhale, release. Thank you all for practicing with me today. Namaste. Hope you have a great rest of your day. If you are tuning in from Zerv, this platform is all about bringing more movement to your family and your friends. And so we challenge you to get your family on board. Let's get everybody moving throughout these lockdowns. Reach out to me if you have any questions about this platform. Happy to help, and I hope you all have a great rest of your day.
Right, thank you so much, Megan, for that great class. You can book them into next class at Preserve